It always has been.
Going. We are live. Hello.
Age.
Thank you for stopping by the Masters Beer Reviews. We are with the company, which includes James P. Madonna from New Jersey, Ronald J. Terrio, I just called you that, Louisiana Beer Reviews,
Howdy.
and John Anilli from the great state of Georgia, who maybe the Red Sox will see in the World Series against the Braves. You never know. We got 106 wins, things or 7. Things are going good.
Great state.
Yeah, we might have John H. Pierre phone calling us live. That would be a mistake. Join the video. And Gabriel Salia, he's always asleep during these things. He doesn't do anything during the day. I don't know. So this is Wild Card Wednesday, but 3 out of the 4 have Dos Equis Ambar that they also want to feature. So the 3 panelists will have Dos Equis Ambar, and I'm keeping it wild card. So we'll get to my beer eventually here. So for people are watching live, and for the people that have the Dos Equis Ambar, I guess we can start with John Anilli and then go to James and then go to Jay Terrio. So John, what are your thoughts of the Dos Equis Ambar going into this examination? What are your prior thoughts as of right now?
Right. Well, I've had it many times. Had it about a month ago, I guess, not too long ago. I've always enjoyed it. It's a really light-bodied beer, but it's got a lot of flavor with the roasted barley malt. It's very well balanced, and like I said, I've always enjoyed it. So I'm excited to get into it this evening. It's 4.7% alcohol, so nothing too crazy there. The best by date is July 2019, so a nice fresh date.
Nice fresh date. It's like a swimsuit model date. Yeah, nice.
What's your experiences with this beer, and what are your thoughts on the beer before you drink it tonight, James P. Madonna?
Before I drink it, my thoughts is I've had Dos Equis Lager in Cabo San Lucas, and I loved it. But the Ambar, this is my first.
Okay.
My first, and there is the Ambar. I looked for my favorite mug that I had when I was 18 years old. I had to, do something nice today. All right, and I'm going to try it now.
Cool.
The great state. Yeah, politicians always say the great state. How could every state be the great state? Anyway, I digress. Wait a minute.
United States.
I have to do the lucky 7 bells. All right.
I got a little bicycle bell. All right.
And light, like John said before, it's a light lager. It's a light lager, a tad bit too light for me, but if I was that thirsty, I would enjoy it.
Cool.
Which I am. I like the regular Dos Equis lager better. A Modelo Special is about just equal to this, I'd say.
Okay.
Well, like he said, exactly what John said. About the malt aroma and flavor. The bitterness from the hops is moderate, and it's you could do a lot worse than this, but then again, you could do a lot better than this.
Okay.
Excuse me.
I'll go.
First time impressions. Interesting stuff there. Let's we'll come back to everybody to do some grades towards the end. Final thoughts at the end of the examination. I know Jay has probably done some multiple videos featuring Dos Equis Ambar, but going into this today, what are your thoughts of it, and what are your experiences with the Dos Equis Ambar area?
Well, I guess I first drank it about 20 years ago, and then I started reviewing it around 7 years ago, and I thought it was kind of bland and dull, and I was complaining that it's too thin, it's too bland, it's too dull. But upon further examination, I've sort of backed off of that, And I like that thick, creamy head like he's showing. And it does have a creamy head, a khaki head, the tan amber appearance.
That's right.
I think I was perhaps overly critical of it. It does have a nice, well, we'll get into that later, I guess. It has some nice aspects, a nutty aroma, a flavor, I mean to say. It's malty. Yeah, nutty, like a pecan. And it
Like a professor? Oh.
yeah, and yeah, right, nutty professor. And the IBUs, I believe the IBUs are 22. And this is the original Dos Equis. This is the one from 1897. The Lager Especial wasn't introduced until 1983 to compete with like Corona Extra. So this is the original Vienna Lager, and it was interestingly, it was started by a man named George Haas, who was a German immigrant to Mexico.
Interesting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Swenson says hello. He's drinking a 603 brewery from Londonderry, New Hampshire. Their Winnie Amber Ale, named for Lake Winnipesaukee, the New Hampshire's largest lake.
Who was that?
Winnie?
Craig Swenson.
Oh, Craig. Hey, Craig.
Hello.
Roasted malts. Okay.
Back to stereo.
146 calories. There is a Dos Equis Roja, which comes out occasionally. The Roja is a red lager.
Ooh.
That sounds good.
I've had it. It's dynamite, but it only comes out about once or twice a year. So if you ever find the Roja, it's usually in the variety pack. I would highly recommend it. And they say it's coming back. So
I'm going to ask the Grand Poobah of big giant home liquors about that. I'm going to run that by him. Dos Equis Grand Poobah. Well, it's such a huge liquor store. That's why I call them that. Yeah.
The ringleader.
Roja.
All right.
I was looking at the variety packs the other day, and the one that's in the variety pack now, which I'm interested to try. I'm not sure if I've ever had it. I want to say I have, but it's been years. Is the Dos Equis Blanca? They have that one in the variety pack right now, so I'm probably gonna have to pick one up.
Oh, that must be coming out right at this very moment, because that's the white beer. It's sort of like a wit beer, a Belgian white ale.
That sounds good.
I've seen it, but I never tried it. I don't think I tried it. They come out with some strange variety. I know Eric wants to talk about his beer. He's getting irritated.
Irritated?
No, I just hadn't said anything yet. Continue.
Go ahead, Eric. Talk about your beer.
Okay. So my beer is going to be not very quickly drunk because it is 9.2% alcohol by volume.
Ooh.
I'm keeping up with Wild Card Wednesday theme here. Just me, myself, and I. This is from the DC Brow, which is located in Washington, D.C. This is their On the Wings of Armageddon. It is a Imperial IPA at 9.2% alcohol by volume and a whopping 110 IBUs. This is, according to Mayan and Hopi calendars, the transition from one world age to another will happen on December 21st, 2012. And as homage to the transition, DC Brow has concocted an Imperial IPA named On the Wings of Armageddon.
Wow.
It is, by the way, the recipe includes pale malt, Cara 60, Cara Pills, and wheated malt with Falconer's Flight hops. Crimson color. Let me hold up the beer glass. It does not have, and I poured it with a little bit of an angle. Maybe I didn't need to do that because it doesn't have much of a head, but it is 9.2. I mean, look at this. Look at this carbonation on that thing. It's like,
yeah.
It's like those golden colored fireworks, like the Rice Krispie sounding ones, to be completely honest. That's kind of interesting looking lacing on that with the alcohol legs.
Better than looking at any lava lamp is Thomas's beers, that's for sure. Better than a lava lamp.
Yeah. This looks very interesting for a double IPA, that lacing and that carbonation is just clinging to the glass. There must be so much hop oily resin to this beer, I'm guessing, that it makes the carbonation do that. It smells not entirely like a giant beer. You're getting some hop oil notes. You're getting some piney kind of resinous notes. But you're getting a good grapefruit and orangey note. You're getting caramel and toffee malt. I'm actually getting somewhat of a biscuity, crackery, almost like a Pilsner-ish kind of a note to it, a Euro lagering kind of a maltingness to it.
Yeah.
And it does have some white bread, sweet undertones, but and then other than grapefruit and the orange, there's some undiscernible, maybe a little bit darker fruits in the bottom of that too, but that could be some of the alcohol and the yeast I might be getting from the beer. It actually smells really pleasant and absolutely delicious. So the aroma for a 9.2% alcohol beer at 110 IBUs is scary how approachable it seems. Cheers.
That's it. Thomas is without a doubt the grand poobah of craft beer. That's it. I've decided. After he's the grand poobah. Imperial wizard. That's it.
Eric, when this beer that you're drinking, it's very metaphysical. I noticed from the description, and it comes out when the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter is aligned with Mars.
You start singing that? No.
December 21st, December 21st, 2012, baby.
Where the moon is in
and it is October. No, sorry, August 9th, 2018 is when this was canned. So pretty fresh beer.
August 29th. Well, where's Marilyn McCool, Billy Davis Jr. when you need him? Hey,
Jake can do the William Shatner when he talks, you know.
Yeah, that taste real fast is definitely a bigger, bolder beer than the aroma let on.
So it's stronger than you would have first believed.
Yeah, but looking at how the carbonation and the lacing is sticking to the glass, that's definitely what you're getting. Is a sticky, is a kind of a moderately sticky, resinous, oily mouthfeel. It is very.
Excuse me.
It'll make you do that too. It's got a lot of Pilsner maltiness in the background. There's a caramel and toffee sweetness, as one could tell, and from the color there. There's tons of pine resin, tons of pine resin, tons of grapefruit and orangey notes. There's a little bit of a toasty malt note, and there definitely is a warming sensation about the 9.2%. And the bitterness, yeah, there's a lot of upfront bitterness to this, that the oils are packing so much abrasive upfront bitterness to the beer. It's crazy. But however, it's about done for the finish. What you're getting left with is a semi-dry sort of a feeling beer. It doesn't completely dry. You're still getting some of those bready Pilsner and caramel type malt, but at the very end, you're getting left with that oily, resinous 9.2, and that's where all the bitterness lies in the beer. So, yeah, definitely a big, bold beer. It's not the hardest to drink 9.2%, 110 IBU style IPA. However, it is a pretty big, thick mouthfeel. It is, I would call it on the light side of full, but it's a full-bodied beer. And it does have moderate carbonation, somewhat drinkable. I would say for this style, it's highly drinkable. It's scary. And is it refreshing? Actually, it kind of is, but you need to be the person that likes a little bit bolder in your face flavors. You're going to have to like really oily, resinous, sticky, almost hop notes to really appreciate this beer and the mouthfeel for the beer. So So far, this is actually a really nice treat and one that you should just sit and sip with. So far, this is awesome.
Is it expensive?
I think it was $3 and change for the 12-ounce bottle.
Whoa. Whoa. Would you recommend drinking 2 of them in one night? No.
I would not. You might only just need this one if you're going to treat it as a sit, relax, and sip with the beer.
Right.
Drink.
Now,
kind of like how, just really quickly here, kind of like when you drink a whiskey and you can kind of get an oily mouthfeel, if that makes any sense, mixed in with the alcohol. It's obviously not as big as a whiskey, but it's kind of doing a similar mouthfeel thing in that regard, if you get my drift.
Yeah, get ready because that's coming. Get ready because that's coming. Hey,
so far, so good.
Eric, can I give my beer description in exactly 1 minute? I mean,
hopefully. Let's do it.
I'm going to describe mine in 1 minute or less.
Oh my
God! Right now, get ready because here we go. Right at this exact moment, here we go. Now go.
Continue.
It has an interesting yeasty quality, like bread yeast, bread dough. There's nuttiness, nutty pecan shell aspect. There's bread crust. Now the predominant thing is sweet brown bread crust. It's medium bodied. The finish is fairly crisp. It's easy drinking. It has flavor. I was wrong when I said it was dull and bland. When I said that 7 years ago, I want to retract that statement. I would recommend people not watch my video. Well, they can watch it. All right. Anyway,
don't watch his video. Said no one ever.
This thing would pair well with steak fajitas, guacamole salad, and black beans and Mexican rice. And I would dare say with a fairly good amount of pretty hot sauce. I like
non-Mexican food too.
Huh?
And non-Mexican food too.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying some of the things it would pair well with. I could sit here and name a lot of things, but it would take over a minute. So I am being very positive towards this product now. So, and I have a bunch left because I bought a 12-pack and I split it with my friend David. And he said, "You don't want me to take 6 of them, do you?" I said, "Oh, go ahead, take 6 bottles." So he was very happy. So that's it. See, I did it in 1 minute or less.
You know, I keep a basket of pears, and being that he's saying pair well all the time, I'm going to be let it eat pears with every craft beer. Anyway, I digress.
What are your thoughts, James P. Madonna, on the Dos Equis Ambar? First time ever drinking it.
You know what? I definitely like it better than Corona and your typical Modelo. Definitely better than Tecate. Definitely better than Sol and Pacifico. Okay, so I'm not saying it's bad. It's good. I'll give it a C+ as far as the lager family goes. Like I said, you know, if it was a 97-degree heat wave with humidity, I would probably enjoy it a hell of a lot more. I like the Dos Equis lager better. I like Negro Modelo better. That's about it. You know, I mean,
yeah,
I give it a C+. I don't, you know, I mean, as far as compared to other Mexican beers.
And what do I always say? You know what I say, John and Illy. You gotta call them as you see them.
Oh, not laissez les bon temps roulés.
Well, I say that too all the time. But you gotta call them as you see them. And I know John and Illy wants to describe it.
Dude, let's hear about this beer, John.
The Grand Poobah too.
You're a poo bar.
Poo bar.
Okay, well,
that's that 9% talk.
It's all right, you know, roasted barley character, maybe a little bit of hop presence, and that's pretty much it. Some clean water. There's not too much there on the aroma. On the taste, and I thought maybe Jay was going to say this, but he didn't. I'm picking up, after you get that initial roasted barley malt character, I'm picking up a papery note.
I got that on the Lager Especial, but I haven't gotten on the Ambar.
Ooh.
I am definitely picking up some paperiness to this, and it's not bad. I mean, it's actually quite enjoyable. I don't know. Maybe I'm sick for liking the taste of paper, but no. To me, there's definitely a papery note that you're getting in the middle. There is some nice breadiness. I think it's more on the light side. I think Jay said it was more medium bodied. I think it's like super light bodied for a roasted, with the roasted barley malt that you're getting and everything. I think it's super light bodied for the style. It's got just a little bit of a hop bite at the back end. The carbonation is medium. It's super crisp, clean, and refreshing. The finish is also very dry. I think the sessionability with this is through the roof. Is it my favorite Mexican lager? No, but it's definitely excellent. And since James went ahead and gave his rating, I'll just go ahead and give mine. I think it's excellent, but I think it's on the lower end of excellent. There's a lot of Mexican lagers out there. There's a lot of ones that are better than this that don't have the papery note. Some people might be kind of turned off by that little papery note, or that's at least how I'm describing it. It doesn't, I mean, I don't know. It has that papery note for me, but it's definitely excellent. I'm going to go with a 92 out of 100.
You people be giving 90s like they're going out of style, man. You love all beers and hate very few. That is awesome. That's awesome to see that most breweries are putting out world-class products. It's hard to find bad stuff out there, in other words, unless you really look hard.
I know, it's actually a benefit. It's really a good thing when you can drink 200 beers and 190 of them will be an A or an A minus.
We're telling you, most stuff is actually good out there. Yeah.
I'll give you my score right now.
What you got, Mr. Terrio?
Nothing like these blue things that you keep in the freezer. Nothing like them.
Oh yeah. James P.
Ice cold.
He said C plus. Hey, you got to call him like you see him. John Daly said A minus. I'm gonna go out and say about a 93, which is getting into the solid A range. Wow. Now you're getting into the mid 90s. But I'm a sucker for lighter beers. As I get older, I start falling more into lighter beers. Maybe I'm not a strong beer guy anymore. I'm just the old fuddy-duddy, but I'm like a minor poobah. I'm like a lesser poobah. I'm more like a lesser poobah. I'm not a Raja. I'm not a
Raja.
Maharaja?
No. That's a great beer.
I have to look up minor Indian princes, but I'm
Samjay Gupta? I don't know.
Hey, that's not a bad lager. Kingfisher from India. I had that.
Oh, yeah. There's some drama with that. The guy that was the president of Kingfisher, he had fled the country of India because he was about to be arrested for bank fraud. So, well, there's a little backstory with that. But anyway, I love the Ambar, but I have to say I do prefer the Modelo Negra. I'm sitting there talking about how I love lighter beers, and then I'm saying I prefer a 5.4 over a 4.7. So I don't know. It's hard to pass up that beautiful, rich flavor of the Modelo Negra. But we've talked about this so many times, you and myself and James, and especially John and Neely. I don't think I talked about it with James, but 6% is sort of my tipping point. When it gets above 6%, it just starts to turn my stomach these days. So like Eric's drinking that 9, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I could stomach it, you know. Although I would drink it, of course.
So my experience, I didn't even say that because I'm doing wild card myself here, but my experience isn't that extensive of the Dos Equis Ambar, although I've had it I've had it before several times, and my recollection was high of that beer. I mean, I like the Vienna style darker lager beers that the Mexican breweries put out on a pretty regular basis that we get in the United States. The Ambar from Dos Equis. There's the Modelo Negra. There is the Victoria Lager. I really like that one.
Oh yeah, that's a jewel.
Those are the big three that really stand out to me. And there's no, unless I did a J. Theriault blind taste test, I don't know if I could really sit here and tell you that I prefer one over the other. Although my mind, for whatever reasoning, gravitates towards Victoria. It just seemed recall that one being kind of a pleasant to drink beer. I mean, there's not much going on with these beers, I'm going to be completely honest. However, what's going on is just this addition of a roasted barley malt that does wonders to amplify the lager beer drinking experience without it being too big of a body or harsh in any way.
I agree. If you're going to drink a lighter bodied lager, why not drink one with rich malty flavor and a dark appearance that's, and it's the same price. So, oh yeah.
And I say the opposite for good reasonings. If you're going to drink a big, bold beer, why not do it like this Imperial Stout or Imperial IPA, 9.2%, 110 IBUs. So you have to like those alcohol legs and that lacing. You have to like thicker, stickier, resiny, hoppy oil feel to your beer to appreciate this one.
And don't spill it on your keyboard, because I made that mistake with Pabst Old Tankard Ale, and my letter A did not work hardly at all for over a year.
Spill it on the great Logitech.
You got the same keyboard I have, except mine is dustier. Anyway, I like what Thomas had last week. That the ale that you had last week, that looked good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was good. I really like that.
Yeah, man.
But there's just so much of that 110 IBU that it's not enough that it's cutting your face off. However, it is pretty abrasive in its bittering. I think even the casual IPA fan or somebody that's not used to big IBU forward beers where that's the predominant flavor, I don't think that those people would really approve of On the Wings of Armageddon. But this is a sleeper beer, and it tastes really fresh at only a little over a month old. And I think it's a sleeper beer because I don't think most people have heard of this beer. And I think that's a shame, because it's a big, bold drinking experience. And if you are an IPA fan or you like your bigger IBU beers, this is the one to gravitate towards. It's definitely world class. I'm definitely going to give it that. 91 is like ringing in my brain, so 91. I think they're doing exactly what they want to do with this beer. I approve that there is a Pilsner like malt to somewhat liven or somewhat freshen up the drinkability to the beer and give it a nice crisp element to it. But I think for me, even though they're doing exactly what they set out to do with this beer, I would want a higher diversity or a higher flavor of malts and probably a lower IBU rating from the hops. But as it stands, this is a really in-your-face, old-school kind of West Coast IPA brewed in our nation's capital. Cheers, amen.
Well, I have even more shocking news.
You got a big bottle of whiskey, all right.
No, people expect that now. That's not shocking. Louisiana Craft Brewers Guild released a beer today. I had no foreknowledge of it. I was at work, and I saw an entire pallet arrive, or a half pallet, and my jaw dropped. I said, it's called the Louisiana Craft Beers Guild, and it's a double IPA. And it hit the store today. It's a DIPA. It's in 12-ounce bottles. I think it's $2.29 for a bottle. It's maybe cheaper for a 6-pack, but it's made in Abita Springs, Louisiana. It's to raise money for the Louisiana Craft Beers Guild, and the hops were donated, the yeast was donated, the malt was donated, all the ingredients were donated by various suppliers. And $7 from every case is going to go to the Louisiana Craft Beers Guild. Well, I read that right off the 6-pack case, container. So I said, whoa, that'll be an exciting review, I do believe.
Nice. Now, none of that money is going towards the International Beer Review Guild, is it?
Right. The International Craft Beer Review Guild is headquartered in Washington these days, Washington State. Tyler Mansell is the grand poobah. I'm the vice poobah.
Vice poobah.
It's part of the.
I'm Winnie the Poobah.
Oh, that's my baby invitation.
Yeah, it's related to the Beer Talk 2018. It's related to the Beer Coalition chat. It's related to the Thomas Meadows 75 Wednesday night wild card and/or specific beer examination program.
Correct.
And so, yes, John and Neely is totally correct. And I haven't even started drinking the whiskey yet, so get ready.
How dare I? How dare I? Hey, Jay, look. Did you know that my Wild Card Wednesday Jester hat is really from Jägermeister?
Oh!
I got it from my friend used to run an Irish pub, and he gave this to me. That had the Jägermeister chick there, and I got it off of. All right, Wild Card Wednesday is official.
I was very pleased with Jägermeister because I had never tried it before, and it made me do a lot of thinking. And
it makes you do a lot of things.
Huh?
You know how many herbs? Like 800. It was invented by German monks in a monastery. There are hundreds of different herbs and botanical delights that go into Jägermeister. This is, it's actually true.
Yeah, I know a lady from Germany. She's from Schleswig-Holstein, and she said,
"Long what? What?
Schleswig-Holstein." And she said, "Do you know Jägermeister is used in Germany as a medicinal. People drink it when they have stomach trouble. They drink a little shot of it."
But that's what I read.
Yeah. Okay, Eric. Sorry to co-op your show. Sorry.
We digress.
James P. Madonna is making John and Nelly lose it over there. He is balls out laughing. Cheers to our comedian of the day.
That's and that song is stuck in my head all the Age of Aquarius. It's going to be stuck in my head.
All right.
This is my pre-hernia show because I'm having my last hernia procedure Friday. This will be my
cheers. Yeah. All right.
Best wishes on that. I had that procedure in 1968.
Well, this is hereditary. I had the right side done in the spring. Now it's the left side. I told the surgeon I'm running out of sides. He cracked up.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. Very painful, but you know what? This show takes the pain away. It's very thorough.
While we're on the subject of James P. Madonna, I gotta ask. Now that he's had this Dos Equis Ambar, from when you started the examination to about now, have your thoughts and opinions on the Dos Equis and Dos Equis Ambar changed?
B-.
Are they worse? Or are they better? Or are they the same?
B-. I was a little too harsh with the C+. I say B-. No, really, I was, because I'm a strong, heavy-duty porter, ale person. I like strong stuff, strong everything. And I was being too harsh. So I'll kick it up a notch to B-.
Yeah, he likes 9% Baltic porters from Zivich.
Yeah, my itch, right? Yeah, my crotch. I mean, my
Right.
I met in the Holiday Inn by Bananas Comedy Club. They had a bartender was from Poland, and she pronounced it perfectly, like Jay did. And I tried hard to pronounce it right, but.
All right, let's see if we can break up the monotony with John Anilli here. Let's get you thinking. As your thoughts from when we started examination on Dos Equis and Dos Equis Ambar, are they worse? Are they better? Or are they about the same?
About the same. I've had this beer so many times over the years. I've always enjoyed it. There are better Mexican lagers out there, but there's definitely nothing wrong with this one. It's yeah, it's still right there in that A- range for me. And it does. I still am definitely picking up on that distinct papery note.
Paper.
I think I've always got that with the Dos Equis Ambar. Some of the Mexican lagers have that light, that papery note to them, but it's really distinct with the Dos Equis Ambar. For me anyway, I'm picking up on. But yeah, I mean, nah, my opinion's about the same. I've always enjoyed it. I think I always will. So
I find over the years that many Mesoamerican beers have a paper note. I don't know where that's coming from. You get beers
corn in the corn husk, maybe?
Yeah, because I don't know. I've gotten beers from Honduras and Costa Rica and Nicaragua and Guatemala and the Republic Dominicana, and they all seem to have this papery note. It's really weird. And I find the Dos Equis Lager Especial has the papery note. And one more thing, I think the Dos Equis Ambar, I was thinking about this when I went into the kitchen. I think it would pair very well with charbroiled oysters. I'm thinking that.
Oh, I love oysters.
What were you going to say? Somebody was going to ask me a question. I'm saying, yeah, charbroiled oysters from Acme Oyster House. Okay, what?
Yeah,
I was just gonna say that I was
Uh-oh, you're breaking up.
watching and the Dos Equis Lager, and you said that the Carta Blanca had a papery note, but when you looked under the glass, you got it wrong. So it was actually the Dos Equis that had the papery note. So maybe there's with all of the Dos Equis products, there's a light or a slight papery component to the flavor.
I know, and I was really embarrassed, with that one. But that's the risk of doing a blind taste test, right?
Jay, do you
Well,
have any information on the Filipino beer San Miguel? Have you ever had that or found it? Or
Yes.
what do you think of it? It's cheap ass stuff or what?
Yeah, the San Miguel, when I had it, it tasted kind of off, I didn't like it. The San Miguel Light also tasted kind of off, but I found that the San Miguel Negra, the dark version, was really good. And then the best one of the whole lot, was the San Miguel's Red Horse Lager. It's 8%. It's a super strong beer. It's 8% now, but the Filipinos that watch my video said, look, it's really not 8%. It's much higher than that. They just say that on the label to fool the government.
Oh,
I don't know about that. I agree.
I agree with
I didn't believe it either. I didn't believe it, but they claimed that they add vodka to it and all this business. But
Yeah, vodka, right?
maybe in the Philippines they do, because the Philippines regulations are so poor. But in the United States, I don't think they're shipping in vodka fortified beer under a fake ABV.
Is that actually a Filipino beer, or I thought that was from Spain?
No, the story with that is that Spain used to own the Philippines.
Okay.
It was a colonics. I mean, a colony.
It was the Spanish. It was a Spanish company established in the Philippines in 1890. Well, the United States attacked Spain and took over the Philippines in 1898. So then they turned it over and it became a Filipino company, and it's been a Filipino company ever since. But I tried to tell my Filipino viewers, because they got all irate and everything, do not say that it's a Spanish company. Spain captured the Philippines. Spain stole our country and all this. I was like, all that stuff doesn't. Yeah, I said all that stuff doesn't matter. I said in 1890, however you address it, Spain was the effective ruler of the Philippines, whether you like that or not. And they owned the company. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's who owned it. The Spanish. It was a Spanish company in Madrid. I believe it was Madrid.
Well, I had people from Puerto Rico get mad at me because they said Bacardi rum comes from Santiago, Chile, the east coast of Chile. I'm sorry, Santiago, Cuba. Oh, shit. Santiago, Cuba, the east section of the island.
Santiago de Cuba. Santiago de Cuba.
Cuba. Yeah,
Just go to Canada. You'll find all kinds of Bacardi, and it's primarily Cuban.
Yeah.
And the bat is a symbol of the native Caribbean or Taino people. It's supposed to be like a good luck symbol. It goes back to the Caribbean Indians, the symbol of the fruit bat or whatever kind of bat it is. Bat Masterson.
Bat. Hey, well, Eric, this is a fun hangout, and the Kentucky Tavern is good. And as you'll notice, I'm getting through the bottle, and I think in another what does this look like? Another 2 weeks? Week?
Yeah, maybe 2 weeks. Yeah, maybe how you might drink that. Yeah.
And then I'll finish off the Old Crow, and then the Jack Daniel's Old Number 7, and the Jack Daniel's Number 7, and then next year in 2019, I'm going to crack open the bottle of Stedman's Select, which I bought yesterday, and John and Neely knows about that.
I did see that at the end of the examination you both did last night. Looks like a giant bottle of goodness.
It's like a huge bottle for $19.46. Now, whether it's any good, I don't know, but it is made by Sazerac, and they tend to make good stuff. John and Neely can attest to that.
So I have a couple of thoughts on some beer topics for the next few weeks, I suppose. Here
we're gonna have we're gonna have a problem on October 3rd, but we can battle that out off air.
Okay. Well, the ideas that I have are to do at some point pumpkin beers / Oktoberfest fall seasonal type beers.
Good idea. Good idea.
I really want to do nitro beers, and I have one to fit that. I have ones to fit all these categories, but I definitely have a nitro beer in mind. I want to do, maybe we can do the Euro Strong lagers.
Yeah, like Baltica 9.
And I thought, for next week, what would be a really cool is to do silly beers. And by that, I mean, you pick a beer that's got a ridiculously silly name and bring it. I found such a good one.
I like that theme.
And
it's about 90% of craft beer now, so that's a pretty wide range there. I like it.
Silly, like Hoptopus, which I never see. You know, the octopus on the label.
It's a silly beer name. Bring it. Yeah.
I can find it. Hoptopus.
Well, I'm gonna have to skip next week because I have an examination next Wednesday at the same time of a famous Canadian whiskey brand. So, you know, we have these now November, December, January. That should be no problem because I can fit those in because of holiday breaks and all of that.
Beer, the tradition that Jay started on Wednesday. I'm keeping it alive, everybody.
Now, Jay, Krampus sent me a mystical message through one of my crystal pyramids that he feels he's in the mood for. Yeah, Thomas is laughing. He's in the mood for Geikikon plum wine. If he happens to be, if he travels interdimensionally and he happens to show up tomorrow morning. He might be bringing Geikikon.
Wait a minute. How the hell is this guy getting to where you live? What?
Interdimensionally. He's Krampus from the Black Forest of Germany. He likes.
I cannot stop. I could not stop Krampus from joining the hangout last week, and I can't stop him from joining tomorrow. I'm trying to do some Canadian whiskeys tomorrow, but if Krampus shows up and terrifies all the viewers, that's not my issue, you know.
Yeah, but he never interrupts your what you have to say about your theme. He's
right. He just torments the spoiled children.
Well, he has a story to tell. Yeah, about millennials. He has a special message about millennials. You know, he has a real life story to tell about a guy I used to work with. But you know, it's pretty good. It's a real story, but it's sad because millennials are really pathetic nowadays. And
we're hanging out with two of them right now. I'm
a grand poobah and I'm 30, and I'm a terrible millennial. Cheers.
You're a matured intellect of craft of fermented. Red Rooster got so pissed at me because I call craft beer like a fermented soup of grains, something like that. How dare you? How dare you besmirch craft beer and call it that? Yeah, he I says, well, you eat cheese whiz and Velveeta, so how, you know, how much expertise?
That guy is a riot. I started.
He harasses me all the time.
I started in beer reviewing and YouTube with through Jay Terriot, as all of us have. And at that time is like really when it was all fresh in everybody's mind, and people were just getting off of that little bad trip with down the YouTube road with all the honest craft beer guys. And I had started hearing all about it in 2012. Only when I started to join Jay and our other, as I call him, old timer YouTuber John Sharon, and his buddy Charles Lewis.
Yeah, Charles.
Now, John Stardamunsky owns honest, well, supposedly honest craft beer reviews.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is that at that time I knew nothing about those people, but I heard everybody talking terrible things about them, and I'm glad. Maybe I should watch some of their beer reviews. I'm not trying to be biased, but the way that it sounds like they conduct business and they do things is just not how I want to do it. I want to have a good, fun time, make it engaging, and let's just drink a good.
John is actually quite knowledgeable. The only problem is that Red kind of like is a power freak, you know, control freak, and likes to take over, and John just lets him do it, you know, and that's basically it.
According to Craig Swenson, Jay is the godfather of beer, liquor, and wine reviews. And all hail Zone 1.
Yes.
Well,
so
remember, Godfather got shot.
There you go.
My final thoughts is that I like the Dos Equis Ambar, and I'm sorry we have the schedule issue next Wednesday for silly beers, because I can think of silly names like Giacomo, but
Giacomo, that means James actually in Spanish.
Giacomo. So
what a horrible name. Anyway,
the name of a horse.
If I didn't have to teach religion class on Monday nights, I would just do the whiskey hangout on a Monday night, but I can't do it Tuesday because I gotta go to sleep early. But aside from that, I like the other ideas like the Oktoberfest pumpkin beers, and I like the idea about the I can't remember, but you have it written down, probably the other ones. So.
I got a beer. I'm going to let you all know the name of this beer that I found for next week because it's so silly I had to buy it. Another IPA, because why not? 48 IBUs and 8.5 because why not? It's from those people that make the Plead the Fifth Imperial Stout, the Dark Horse Brewing Company. It's called Smells Like a Safety Meeting.
Oh, well, that sounds interesting.
It's a pretty silly name, right? It's a bunch of noses running. Literally.
Like Monkey Fist IPA and all those crazy names from Clown Shoes.
Hey, Sour Monkey would be a good one.
Yeah.
Brass Monkey, Funky Monkey. Oh, that was a song, the Beastie Boys.
You can make your own Brass Monkey.
Brass Monkey, that Funky Monkey.
Yeah, from 1986.
So and then maybe in 2 weeks we can do some fall pumpkin Oktoberfest style beers.
Oh yeah, I like that idea. Yes.
So there you go. Next 2 weeks, silly beers, and then we're gonna do fall seasonal 2018 variety.
It's it's funny how certain craft breweries don't want to expand. Like for instance, Salem Brewery up in Salem, Mass, has a Pumpkinhead Ale. Everybody's making a pumpkin type of ale, but these places feel they sell out, and there's no need to bottle their product and sell it in liquor stores. That's what I was told. So.
Oh yeah, you talked to me off air about that. They don't want to expand and get bigger. Strange.
Like the one by me, 5 minutes away, Bricks City Brewery in Little Ferry, New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah, they have great products. I mean, if you go to their website, I mean, I'm very impressed, but they have no need to bottle it and sell it. Like Climax, that's another one in Roselle Park, New Jersey. They Climax. Yeah, they have no need. They have tours. They have a lot of people showing up. And They have no need to sell to liquor stores.
Hmm.
Yeah,
They just cater to local markets, and that's as big as.
Well, it's like a brew pub. You know, it's a brew pub. All their sales are at the pub. Well, Eric, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, we're gonna do silly beer or silly beer names next week. 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Bring your Jägermeister caps and bring a silly beer. Why not?
What is your YouTube channel, sir?
Thomas Metal 75.
Oh, that's easy to remember.
Look that up and you'll see Masters' beer reviews. And hey, we can exchange the Google Hangouts contact information so I can invite you next week.
Thomas Metal 75.
Why not? You go find me on Google Hangouts and or yeah, well maybe
I'm on Google Plus as Progressive Discussions, and I have Jay. Ronald J or Jay Ronald, whatever he wants. And
discussions. I will find our good buddy James P. Madonna. All right. So, yeah, I think Jay, were you going to add something really fast?
I was just going to say Progressive Discussion's been on there for a long time. I'm getting ready to go full close if that's exciting for you, but
all right. So cheers, Prost, Salante, and until next time, keep tasting those great beers. John is off his rocker laughing in Georgia. It's been a great event tonight.
I feel bad John hasn't said as much as we have, but maybe next time.
Oh, that's all right. I talk enough.
Until next time.
You ready, Eric? Wait, Eric. Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Whistle.
Well, so long from our pirate ship.
And until next time, keep tasting those great beers. Been a wrap.
A wrap.